a tiny lot, 25 by 96. And this was very traditional for the shotgun houses of the area. So that's basically what inspired the design of the home. We did a two-story shotgun house, 3 bedrooms, half bath. I'm not sure what the final plans are for the house, but we tried to make it, for a transitional family or a starting family, and we provided a porch in the front that could face the neighbors, and also a porch in the back where they could spend their time. Even though the yards are small, they'll be able to spend a lot of time outdoors. And we also provided them with a balcony on the second floor in the front and in the back, so they could, you know, also have some more outdoor space.
Does that you conclude your presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Let's open it up to public testimony. Is there anyone in the chambers, Mr. Lightfoot?
There's nobody in the chambers.
All right, if anyone is on Zoom who wants to speak to this item, please raise your virtual hand. To do that, wave your mouse pointer at the bottom of your Zoom screen. You'll see the words reactions. Click on the words reactions. You'll see the words raise hand. Click on those words and you'll raise your virtual hand. I don't see any virtual hands being raised. So I presume there's no public comments or testimony.
Good evening. Welcome and to the City of South Miami Commission meeting for June 21st, 2022. Please, if you have a cell phone, please turn your ringer off. And anybody that has a noisemaker, please silence it also. There are some people who are welcome to join us by Zoom. So now, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor Phillips.
Present.
Commissioner Harris.
Here.
Commissioner Lehman.
Present.
Commissioner Gill.
Present.
Commissioner Corey.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. For right now, let's have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Would you all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we are going to be approving the minutes of June 7th, 2022. Would someone move to have them approved?
I move that we approve the minutes of June 7th, 2022.
Second.
Is there any discussion, revisions? In that case, everybody who approves say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Everybody who doesn't say nay. All right, it passes and it has been approved. Now it's time for the city manager's report.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. The CIP workshop for mayor and commission is scheduled for Thursday, June 30th at 10 a.m. at the City of South Miami Chamber. Water main project is mostly completed with only a striping pending at some locations. Join the Parks Department for a brand new eSports gaming experience this summer. Contact Parks via email at parks@southmiamifl.gov to register for competitive Rocket League program. The city's 4th of July celebration will be held at Palmer Park from 5 to 9:15 p.m. The firework will commence at 9 p.m. sharp.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
I'm looking forward to fireworks. Okay, Mr. City Attorney.
Just to advise you that the Supreme Court is starting to hand out its rulings from the oral argument that they had regarding the Clean Power Plan, and it was anticipated that it would come out today. It did not, and so probably Thursday or I think next Tuesday we'll have another round of opinions, and I'll be able to advise you what happened.
Thank you. All right, it's time for public remarks. Are there?
Sorry, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I just wanted to see if anybody in the commission had any questions for the city manager or the city attorney.
It's time now, and so Horace Fallu is the first person, please. Did you press the button? Is there a button to press?
All right, thank you. Good evening. Horace Filiu here. You know, we could use maybe an extra 2 minutes at a time. I mean, all of you have the right to make a motion to increase the number of minutes, given the fact there's only 2 or 3 people maybe speaking. I can understand when there's 20 people, 10 people, whatever, but 2 extra minutes isn't going to hurt. So that being said, I'm here to support the item number 3, the collective bargaining agreement with the AFSCME employees. Things have gone up, prices have gone up, and we need to help our workers. So please vote yes on item number 3. I'm here also to speak about the rapid transit zone. Now, I know that the mayor and the commission has been fighting the county on this, and rightly so. We don't need to have them usurp our rights to have our own zoning. There's a petition going around in the city of Pinecrest that you may be aware of, actually fighting this takeover of our zoning rights in the city levels. There's nothing rapid about the zone. I mean, if you look at all the vast majority of condos and apartments up and down US 1, very little people use the Metro Rail. The vast majority of them use their own cars. So it's just a myth. It's not for any rapid zoning. The Metro Rail is very limited. Buses do not work all that well in this county. I mean, if anybody's ever taken the bus, just sit out there at a bus stop and you see how long it takes for you to get a bus, and you're fighting the elements, the heat and just the rain. It's not a good thing here in South Florida, our transit system. We need to work on that first and then consider rapid transit zones. But right now, the Miami-Dade League of Cities is trying to work on a compromise. Now, you don't need a compromise. There's no compromising. You give up your rights, it's gone. They'll come back and ask for more. So please do not follow the Miami-Dade League of Cities so-called compromise. Now, understand that the members of the Miami-Dade League of Cities, a lot of the sponsors are developers, people with interest. So they're working on a compromise to make everybody happy, especially their members. But again, you give up our rights, and you already have a good zoning plan. So please consider that and keep fighting. I did speak with Commissioner Regalado, and she's on board. So you have you have allies, okay? All right, folks, good evening. And again, you can always extend the commission public remarks by just saying, please extend. There's only a few people speaking. When I was first on the commission, the public remarks was at the end of the meeting. I was a commissioner that sponsored bringing it to the beginning of the meeting so that people can have input. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, Randolph Brown, or I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. Randolph Brown, President of AFSCME 3294 here with the city. here for item 3 that you guys are getting ready to vote on. I want to say that I've had an opportunity to negotiate many contracts, and this is one of the better contracts that we've negotiated with the city employees. I want to commend Ms. Kamali, along with her assistant city manager. Phenomenal job. Also, I would like for you guys to know that we had a unanimous vote on this contract. That's members of the union as well as members who belong to the collective bargain agreement. I've only been involved in one contract where we had a unanimous vote. So I commend you guys for the patience and the will and to boost the morale here within the city with the employees. This contract is a phenomenal contract, and it will be a trailblazing contract for other municipalities. So when you guys get ready to cast your vote, just know that we thank you, and the way that we show our gratefulness is by getting out here and producing for the public. So I thank you, and I wish to see this contract passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Manny Alonso?
Thank you. I've reached out to some of you individually and sent this to you. On the 67th corridor from 48th Street all the way to Sunset Drive, there's some major concerns within the citizens there. There's about, I want to say about 300, probably 400 or so citizens. And they're concerned with a property that's directly south of the 7-Eleven on Miller and 67th. And it seems to be that there's a developer trying to develop a commercial property, a 4-story building in a residential zoned area, and they're trying to flip that in the county. I am asking for your input. I'm asking for your assistance with anybody within the county that can help us with this, as there are several concerned citizens and future, obviously, and current voters in the area. So what I've provided you with is something that one of the residents put together. They put together a little snippet on the front side. It talks about the issue, and on the back side, it talks about when the hearings are going to be. So if you can reach out to the county commissioners as well as any state representatives, that will be great in order to not pass this item. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Adam Benner?
Good evening. Forgive me for my appearance. I was out walking door to door. My name is Adam Benner. I'm the Democratic candidate for House District 114. The city of South Miami is included in the district, but I wanted to come here and introduce myself to the entire commission because I haven't had a chance to speak with all of you yet. But I am out there talking with voters, your constituents, and I wanted to let you know that as we make our way towards November for the election, I will be here in the community. I will be very present. I am willing to work with everyone in our community to make sure that the city of South Miami has a voice in Tallahassee.
Excuse me, sir, wait a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you stop the clock for a second? Mr. Attorney, is electioneering something that we allow here?
No.
I'm sorry. If you don't have something that has to do with our meeting or with our city, it's not appropriate to use this time for electioneering.
He can say who he is, but he can't promote himself using the public forum. Yeah.
Right. Sorry.
So am I allowed to continue?
Yeah.
I'm just introducing myself. Like I said, I'm out in the community talking with our constituents in the city of South Miami, and I wanted to let you know that I want to work with everyone. I'm hearing the issues, and I'd love to go to Tallahassee and represent the community. That's all. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Is there anybody in Zoom land who would like to speak? If so, please raise your virtual hand. Okay.
Wait, I think we have a human here.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
on that same note, The governor signed, I can't remember what the House bill the bill was, but it's section 106.113 concerning local government, and it restricts sending out even informational documentation using public funds to promote either for or against a candidate or an issue, which would include ballot issues that we may have on the agenda. So I just wanted to let you know that even informational expenditures of money to send out to the public and trying to get them to approve a ballot question would be a violation of the new statute, which goes into effect on July 1st. Thank you.
Thank you. That's interesting to know.
Dick Ward, just to comment that I received a notification from the Metro Zoning Board last week. The warehouse, rental warehouse on 67th Avenue and 84th Street, there's another hearing coming up on that. Now, whether it will include the taking down that barrier or not, I don't know. But when I get more information, I will make you aware and your city aware, because I was one of the ones way back in the 60s that got this barrier put up because of the traffic coming through the neighborhood. And some of our biggest supporters were people that lived in the city of South Miami across 62nd Avenue, because the people would come up 84th Street and just go right on through the city until they got to Red Road. And they would miss all that congestion on 80th Street. It'd take them maybe 1/3 of the time to go from 67th Avenue to 57th if they came up 84th Street. And it was a very dangerous situation. And my son was very young at the time, was riding a bicycle, and a car drove so close to him, it hit him in the shoulder with the mirror and knocked him over into the ditch. And fortunately, he had nothing but scratches. And the car didn't stop, it just kept going. And I hope that if this is the case, that they're taking that barrier, trying to get that barrier removed, I hope we can count on you all to help us get that blocked, because it's going to mean a lot to South Miami residents also. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak? All right, and nobody with a raised hand. Public hearing is now closed, and we move on to commission remarks. Who would like to start? Walter?
Yeah, first of all, I do want to repeat what former Mayor Falou said about the rapid transit zone. And I just can't see how South Miami can possibly benefit giving up 1,000 feet right through the heart of the city. It's just going to be a major, major problem. And we definitely have the right to stand up against it. So I'm all for that. I'm also concerned. I mean, there's so much stuff going down. It's unbelievable, all the bad news on every facet of our lives. But I'd like to let South Miami continue to be a environmentally cooperative. We're a little community. And so I would like to consider the possibility of getting, and I'm going to do it at the next meeting as soon as I figure out how to word it, but to put up, let's say, bird-resistant, to defer birds from crashing into windows because they don't know they're even there. With the way housing and everything else has gone up so much, the cost of getting these protective windows for birds is minuscule. So for new construction, I would be for that. Just like the new construction basically was to put solar on the roof. Got to be enforced, however. And so I'm all for that. And I hope everybody is also for that. And I may be the only person in this room who is against the fireworks on the 4th of July, because I know what that does to animals. And if somebody wants to go to fireworks, they could just go to the Biltmore and see really big fireworks. I mean, there's lots of them all over the place. We don't need to be part of contributing to the trauma to the animals, and the trauma is phenomenal because it's everywhere. The population is growing like crazy. And so, I mean, that's the whole thing. When you get right down to it, the county wants more buildings, some more people, and South Miami doesn't need any of that, frankly. And I mean, when I first was elected, well, even before, when I had a homeowners association, my vice homeowner guy said, there's nowhere to go but up. And that was 15 years ago. Well, we don't need to go up. We are a residential community. I'd sure like to keep it that way. And do everything I can to protect animals. That's what I do. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Who'd like to go next? Mr. Corey?
Thank you. I'd just like to thank everyone for coming. Thank you, former Mayor Falou, for speaking as well. And I just wanted to use my time today, given the mayor's announcement at the former meeting that she won't be running again, just to say this is the second board that I've served on where you're the chair, and it has been an honor, and I'm very excited to serve with you for the remainder of the year. I'm saddened we won't be able to serve past that, but you have inspired me, and we share many of the same views. So thank you very much, and that's my time.
Thank you. Mr. Gill?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Dick Ward, former Mayor Horace Falou, Manny, and everyone, thank you for coming. I don't think any of the municipalities are in favor of this RTZ business, but I think we'll leave the details for another time. I don't think it's going to have a major impact on our city the way it's going to work. So that's the expectation. We'll see what comes down from the county, but I'm expecting little to no impact. And just a reminder, 4th of July, we're having the big fireworks, and I am in favor of fireworks, so hope to see you there. Thank you.
Mr. Liebman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And to pick up where Commissioner Gill left off, I too am in favor of fireworks. That's another one of our great city events. Really want to thank our Parks and Rec Department, especially our events coordinator, Yvette Valdez, in advance for producing another great event. And this year will be especially spectacular. There'll be a lot of pent-up demand because we've missed it for a couple of years. I guess the Pets had a couple of years off with COVID. So you can compare the trauma to any other thunderstorm. But it's another great event for our immediate community and showcase our community, those people outside that like to come and join us for a fireworks display. In addition, I want to thank City Manager and in advance the Commission for supporting the employment contract for our Public Works Department, and again, our City Manager, but especially Rudolph, who's the chair of the union, who always does a great job. And I know you're there in the audience. He couldn't be more passionate about his brothers and sisters that he represents and about the city. And please share with your complete team how proud the city and the commission is of everyone, because they take so much pride in their work and they are so passionate about their city. Anyone that sees anyone work, you just go up to them and ask them, or even better yet, thank them, and you'll see how passionate they are about the city and how hard they work and how much they enjoy their job. So they're definitely deserving of it, and I'm really happy that no one represents them better than Rudolph. And then in terms of the bird glass and solar, again, just so many things that are said and that are done are counterintuitive. This commission used to say is that they wanted affordable housing, but all these are additional taxes. I'm not sure what the number of birds flying into first and second story windows are, but I also thought we had a population control issue with peacocks. Maybe if we don't impose bird glass on everyone, maybe that could help address the peacock overpopulation, as opposed to mandating another unnecessary tax on on our residents. We should encourage people to come to our city and welcome people to come to our city. And we should stay competitive with other municipalities as opposed to being the only municipality in Dade County that imposes these taxes on our new residents. So as it is, without doing anything else, they're paying more in taxes than anyone else, which allows us to enjoy all of the rich city services and continue to pay for these salary increases. So again, thanks for the time, and happy 4th of July, everyone.
Thank you. I would like to talk about a number of things. One of them is that I have donated from my discretionary funds $500 to the Marshall Williamson Scholarship. And I would like to encourage anybody else who would like to do that to do so. And I would like to encourage the public to support this scholarship fund. We still need someone to volunteer to be on the Health Facilities Authority. They only have one, maybe 2 meetings a year. And of course, the time of day can get decided by the group. Right now, there are not enough people to have a forum, and there needs to be some work done. The Health Facilities Authority invests in and ensures and issues the sale of bonds, and they issue the bonds so that hospitals can get low-income loans, and the bonds are paid off by the hospitals. We have about $950,000 in bonds that the Health Facilities Authority overlooks. So I would encourage people who are interested to let one of us know so that we can put you on the board, because they do need at least one more person. I'd like to thank the South Miami Black Cultural Affairs Foundation for organizing 2 fine events to celebrate Juneteenth. I showed up at them and I was impressed. And I hope that they will do something as good or better next year. The RTZ is something that I have been, the Rapid Transit Zone proposal is something that I have been watching and I have written about. And right now, the latest version that is going to be up for commentary in front of the committee that has to see it before it gets to the whole commission has some revisions, which include that any land that currently has single-family homes or duplexes is not zoned. It would not be covered by this zoning. And it also says that municipalities are going to be left to do all the permitting and overseeing for construction. It has been changed. What I'm not sure about is what is mandated, and I continually try to reread it, but I will try to get out to you somehow more information about that and when the meetings will be held. They're going to be in July, I believe, and they want to get this thing on the total commission agenda sometime early September, well, whatever. So you'll see that, and I think it would be very, very helpful if people sent emails to every single county commissioner or letters, because I think they might listen. The zoning, what they're saying, what I had heard was that they were going to allow cities to make their own zoning plans as long as they included enough, a large enough number of residents, number of square foot of floor per acre. And so they're not saying that they have to be housing. And one of the things I would love to see in that is something, if they're going to mandate anything, that they mandate a certain percentage of workplace and affordable housing. I also, I just don't understand where the water and where the sewer is going to come from for all the people that that could possibly move in if this RTZ zoning were put in place. Of course, it's not going to be a flood of people all at once, but we don't even have adequate sewage now handling. So those are my comments, and I thank you very much for listening. We have no board and committee appointments, so we move on now to resolution number 1. Madam Clerk.
Yes, item 1, a resolution approving and authorizing the city manager to execute a planning services contract allowing the Cordino Group, Inc. to serve as interim planning director until such as the city can hire a permanent planning director.
I move that this resolution be adopted and assigned the next number by the city clerk.
Second.
Okay, any discussion about this? No? Then,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, just for the public, and thank you, Madam Mayor. This is temporary. This is the interim while the city manager does a search for a full-time planning director. And the firm that was selected, the Cordino Group, is very experienced, and we've outsourced work to them before plenty of times.
Okay, thank you. Would anybody else like to comment? All right, then let us vote, please. Mr. Gill, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Liebman?
Yes.
And I vote yes also. All right, resolution number 2.
Yes, item 2, a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase a NICE digital voice logging system from Word Systems, Inc. for the police department contractual services.
I move that this resolution be adopted and assigned the next number by the city clerk.
Second.
Is there any discussion about that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, again, I would just like to articulate to the public that what this is this is the 911 backup call system. So that way all the calls are recorded and logged, and that has to be updated every few years. So we're just renewing that contract and that storage. Thank you.
And in addition, this is the only company that creates it or manufactures it. So, Mr. Gill,
Yes.
Mr. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Liebman,
Yes.
and I vote yes also. We move now to resolution number 3.
Yes, item 3, a resolution ratifying the 3-year collective bargaining agreement from June 22nd, 2022 to June 21st, 2025 between the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFSCME, Local 3294, and the City of South Miami, and authorizing its execution by the city manager.
I move that this resolution be adopted and assigned the next number by the city clerk.
Second.
Okay. Is there any, now public hearing is open on this. Would anybody like to speak to this item? Would anybody in Zoom land please raise your virtual hand? Seeing nobody here or in Zoom land, the public hearing is closed. Is there any comments or, yes, Mr. Gill?
Yeah, I want to thank the city manager that we had a unanimous vote speaks volumes, and thank you, Randolph, for making that happen. Again, our staff is outstanding, top to bottom. So thank you very much, and that's all I have to say.
Okay, if there are no more discussion, in that case, Mr. Liebman, how do you vote?
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Harris?
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Gill?
Yes.
And I vote yes also. Okay, resolution number 4.
Yes, item 4, a resolution authorizing the city manager to negotiate and enter into a multi-year agreement to procure services with Brightview Landscaping Services for citywide landscaping services.
I move that this resolution be adopted and assigned the next number by the city clerk.
Second.
All right, this is also open for public hearing. Would anybody like to speak? Would anybody in Zoom land like to raise her virtual hand? Hearing none, seeing none, public hearing is closed. Is there any discussion here? It's one of the things that's in that contract, just for public information, is that they have agreed to use electric leaf blowers as part of the contract with us. So,
Madam Mayor, I have a question for the city manager.
yes, Mr. Liebman.
Thank you. Madam City Manager, how much more is the contract now that the vendors can use electric leaf blowers?
Go ahead.
Commissioner Liebman, thank you so much for asking. We contacted them, our procurement department contacted them to find out if there is. They said approximately the same. There is not going to be a lesser proposal for using gas.
So that means that there's no difference for them?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have a question or comment? All right, let's vote. Mr. Liebman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
And Mr. Gill?
Yes.
And I vote yes also. We are moving on to item number 5.
Yes, item 5, an ordinance amending the South Miami Pension Plan by amending Chapter 16 Pensions, Article 2, City Pension Plan, Section 16-28, Deferred Retirement Option Plan drop.
I move that this be considered the second and final reading of this ordinance in its entirety, and assign the next number by the city clerk.
Second.
Yeah. All right, this also has a public hearing. Would anybody like to talk to this item? Would anybody in Zoom land please raise your virtual hand? All right, seeing none, hearing none, public hearing is closed. Is there any discussion? Okey doke. Therefore, Mr. Liebman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Gill?
Yes.
And I vote yes also. Item number 6, please.
Item 6, an ordinance amending Chapter 15, Article 1, Section 15-62 of the City of South Miami Code of Ordinances regarding the hunting and shooting of animals.
Again, this is also open for a public hearing.
I need a motion.
Oh, sorry.
I move this be considered the second and final reading of the ordinance and assign the next number by the city clerk.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Public?
No?
Public?
All right. Yeah.
Public, did, you need to open it to public comments?
Oh, all right, I thought I did, okay. I did it ahead of
You
time.
did, and then
Yeah,
you were cut
okay,
off.
out of order. All right, anybody would like to speak to it now that it's properly moved? In Zoom land? In that case, public hearing is closed and it's now open for commentary or discussion. Hearing none? Mr. Gill, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
And Mr. Liebman?
Yes.
And I vote yes also. There being no further items on the agenda, this meeting is closed. Adjourned.